You guys want to just finish up rehearsing through A block because we're live right now. It's 3:05.
We can go ahead.
Yeah, just go.
Okay, cool. Mute them, mute them.
Coming up next on Middle Tennessee News, a possible bomb was detonated at a local apartment complex.
And police are searching for a suspect wanted for reckless homicide.
All those stories plus your latest weather. Middle Tennessee News starts right now. Thank you for joining us this evening. I'm Kristen Allen.
And I'm Cherilyn Mello. Welcome to Middle Tennessee News. According to Murfreesboro Police, at around 4 a.m. this morning, a bomb went off at the popular student apartment complex, The V. Police officers responded to a possible explosion that was caused by a, quote, improvised explosive device, unquote. Nobody was injured, but part of the complex was evacuated as a precaution. This incident is still being investigated. We will let you know as soon as we receive more information.
Murfreesboro police are looking for 18-year-old Deontay Maurice Wade. Wade is wanted for reckless homicide with a firearm. In the past, the 18-year-old has been arrested for firearm and drug offenses. If you have any information on Deontay's whereabouts, please contact Detective Doug Arrington at 629-201-4339.
Now an update to a national story we brought you a couple of weeks ago. One of two big Hollywood names caught in a massive pay-to-play scandal that saw wealthy parents bribe their child's way into college has pled guilty. Meredith Wood has all the details and what that could mean for other defendants who haven't cooperated yet.
Federal prosecutors in Boston say actress Felicity Huffman will plead guilty for her role in a college bribery scam. Huffman and 10 other defendants have agreed to plead guilty to one count of conspiracy to commit mail fraud and honest services mail fraud. Several others have submitted guilty pleas to various other charges.
We believe all of them, parents, coaches, and facilitators, lied, cheated, and covered up their crimes at the expense of hardworking students and taxpayers everywhere.
The Desperate Housewives actress was accused of paying $15,000 to facilitate cheating for her older daughter's SAT test. Huffman then disguised the payment as a donation to a fake charity set up by Rick Singer. Singer is accused of being the mastermind behind what prosecutors call the largest college admissions cheating scheme ever prosecuted in the U.S. Singer pleaded guilty last month to multiple charges, including conspiracy and obstruction of justice. In a statement released Monday, Huffman apologized for her actions and said in part, quote, "My desire to help my daughter is no excuse to break the law or engage in dishonesty." According to the plea agreement she signed, the government is recommending jail time at the low end of the sentencing range, followed by 12 months supervised release and a $20,000 fine. I'm Meredith Wood reporting.
A trial before Judge David Bragg has been scheduled for the death of Murfreesboro native Jesse Buford. Buford died at the age of 23 while at the student quarters apartment complex on Greenland Drive. According to District Attorney Jennings Jones, the suspect will appear in court.
According to MTSU police, a sexual assault was reported on campus early Monday morning. Police say the assault allegedly occurred near the Rutherford Boulevard parking lot. The victim is not an enrolled student at MTSU, and police do not know the relationship between the victim and the suspect. Even though the assault is still under investigation, the university still sends out alerts to keep students updated and aware of potential dangers. If you or someone you know has been a victim of sexual assault on campus, report to the university police at 615-898-2424. MTSU also offers safety escorts on campus 24 hours a day.
This week is National Work Zone Awareness Week. The Tennessee Department of Transportation took to Twitter to share how and why Tennessee residents should be aware. The department shared that drivers should move over and slow down when they see orange cones and flashing lights while driving. They also brought attention to first responders, reminding drivers to make room for emergency vehicles.
A birthday party in which everyone was invited. The Cyber Cafe hosted the 50th anniversary and birthday of WMOT Roots Radio. From longtime listeners to unique performances and to the people that make 895 what it is, all were in attendance. Organizers such as Val Hopner are proud of how the event turned out.
People, were really complimentary. Lots of people saying congratulations and thank you for inviting us and thank you.
The city of Murfreesboro is thriving with locally owned small businesses, but not everyone knows they're there.
At first glance, Murfreesboro might appear to be just another college town, but at the heart of this true blue city are some of its best kept secrets, locally owned small businesses. These establishments can give a city personality and many of its residents a sense of community, but not everyone knows they're there. For Murfreesboro, that's businesses like Quinn's Mercantile.
We really strive to have products that are individualized and that you don't see in every other store.
Quinn's is a one-of-a-kind gift shop full of novelty items that opened in Murfreesboro 3 years ago. Some small businesses support their community by incorporating it into their establishment. Stacy Hegdong, owner of Sugarees, sells clothing made by local artists in her boutique.
I support local artists and I support small independent artists.
Some small businesses even act as a place for the community to come together.
I never realized we had so many geeks in Murfreesboro until we opened the pub here.
The Green Dragon is a Lord of the Rings themed pub where fans and family alike come together to enjoy pub-style food and local brews.
We are a family pub. We close at 9 o'clock. We have a kids' corner. We have books and games for kids to read and play with, and we're open to everyone.
On the outside, Murfreesboro may look like just a college town, but the community surrounding locally owned small businesses makes it much, much more.
One of my friends once said, I wasn't born here and I wasn't raised here, but I got here as quick as I could.
So whether you're token obsessed or just looking for some unique finds, there just might be something for you.
In state news, the voucher education bill is being met with protests at the Tennessee State Capitol today. The House bill would allow qualifying students who currently attend public schools to attend private schools at no cost. The bill is heavily supported by Tennessee Governor Bill Lee. The governor has set aside over $25 million to support the program. Students who attend schools ranked in the bottom 10% of schools in the state would be eligible to attend private schools. So that means students in Davidson, Shelby, Knox, and Jackson County schools would be able to leave their public school. Only 5,000 students would be permitted to enter the voucher program in its first year, and then 2,500 students every year after that. You know what, Kristen? It feels amazing outside. Honestly, I think this is the best day it's felt since, we left for the fall and it got a little chilly outside.
Yeah, for sure. I think this is the warmest day we've had this year, or the warmest day I can remember. But I think we should send it over to Eric Woolworth so he can tell us what it's looking like right now.
Thank you. It has been an absolutely gorgeous day, but before we get to that, we're going to take a quick look at our traffic right now here in Murfreesboro. As you can see right here with a SmartWay cam from TDOT traffic camera here in Middle Tennessee, it is not too busy on the roadway, but this, as of course, this is roughly around that 3 o'clock time, so this is right before rush hour. So if it is a possibility, I would highly recommend sneaking out of work early. All right, moving on to today's weather. It is an absolute gorgeous day, just like Kristen was talking about. A high of 83 degrees. That is one of the highest days so far in the spring. It is actually officially springtime. I know it was a couple weeks ago, but it really feels like it is today. Humidity, a low of 25, barely a cloud in the sky. So that 83 degrees feels very good. And only 1 mile an hour of wind. That's crazy. It's literally a picture perfect day. But tonight it's going to be even better as far as having a good night. So I highly recommend you sticking around for that. But for right now, I'm going to toss it back to the anchors.
Thank you for that, Eric. Still ahead on Middle Tennessee News. Is there a recession on the way? Joseph Choi joins us to tell us if there is.
And WMOT turns 50 years old. That's coming up next on Middle Tennessee News.
Sculpting the perfect body takes time. Quitting smoking does too. But with a little help, you can do it. Get the resources and support you need to quit smoking from the American Cancer Society at cancer.org/smokeout.
Hannah is bright, talented, and she's been so brave. Hannah complained of a headache. It was a rhabdomyosarcoma. Within a few days, Hannah was in treatment because we were told that the tumor was very aggressive. So we've essentially put our lives in South Africa on hold. Incredibly blessed to be here. St. Jude is an asset to the world. The research that is developed here is offered freely to the rest of the medical world. The entire way that the place operates is just to give and to care. I think it's the kind of place that not only stands as a beacon for pediatric cancer, but I think it could teach the world a couple of lessons about how to treat people. And I think if those lessons could be learned, even in their most basic form, this world could be a better place.
Repeat after me. Apple, table, penny.
Apple, bread.
I remember watching Dad with the kids and thinking, geez, in 6 years, will he even know who they are?
Ask me again.
1 in 10 Americans over 65 has Alzheimer's disease. Learn more today at brightfocus.org.
What does it look like when a life is truly changed?
I feel a sense of accomplishment because I built a house. This house has brought us financial independence.
Every family dreams to have their own house. This house changed our lives.
Habitat for Humanity is at work in your community and around the world. Through shelter, we empower.
The next recession, when will it happen? There was a slight drop in the stock market at the end of last year that caused some alarm. Studio M reporter Joseph Choi spoke with the consumer researcher about what this means and what we should expect.
Recently, it seems that everyone is talking about when the next recession might hit. Consumers and business leaders reported having less confidence in the market late last year, but these levels have since begun to rebound, according to the most recent data from MTSU's Consumer Confidence Report.
In the report that I wrote up about it, I indicated that I didn't expect to see a big increase in consumer spending because we also saw an uptick in the percentage of consumers who say they're going to save more and try to get out of debt, specifically credit card debt.
And as for when the next recession will hit, that's still hard to tell.
We don't know. No one can really predict when the next recession, but we know we're going to have one. That's just the way the economy is. It goes up, it goes down. But I think maybe the some of the things we went through last year, especially with the wild stock market right at the end of the year, that seems to have kind of leveled off, and we've got a definite uptick in the stock market. But I think it caught people's attention.
According to Grave, consumer confidence in Tennessee's economy, especially in Middle Tennessee, is actually higher than the national average. He doesn't expect this to change in the near future, and concentrating on savings may be a key part in maintaining that.
Because we do want consumers saving money. We do want consumers out of debt because that sets the foundation for much greater long-term spending, so that they have the money to spend in the future.
Governor Bill Lee's recent budget proposal also called for a boost to the state's rainy day fund. With the future of the economy still uncertain, now seems to be the time to start saving. For Studio M, I'm Joseph Choi.
Although things look uncertain right now, Dr. Grave says that Middle Tennessee's economy is uniquely strong due to its diverse makeup. That, along with new business growth, could help shield the area from economic downturn.
One local radio station may be facing a midlife crisis. WMOT hits the half-century mark on Tuesday. Reporter Calvin Smith chronicles of the station's mainstays.
5 WMOT, Roots Radio.
On Tuesday, WMOT listeners will be singing along to the music, but the tune may be Happy Birthday, as the station turns 50 years old. Through the door behind me is where WMOT has mixed down music for 50 years. The broadcasting for 10 years is an accomplishment, which makes 50 even more special.
It's pretty amazing, really. I mean, I've been with several radio stations, none of which have come anywhere close to 50 years.
The driving force behind the station's long tenure is a passion for a great melody.
I fell in love with the music.
Music is my favorite art form, so I've always wanted to find a way to support it. I'm not a musician myself, but I've always wanted to find ways to prop it up, and this gives me a platform to do so.
Keeping a radio station alive isn't an easy task. It takes 4 decades of dedication and a lot of early mornings.
Close to 40. I started in 1979 or 1980, one of the two.
My morning shift here starts at 6 a.m. The alarm goes off at 4:30.
And what were you doing when your radio station got its start?
1969, I was, at this time of year, was probably running track at my junior high school.
For Middle Tennessee News, I'm Calvin Smith.
The station hosted a celebration at 5 p.m. on campus at the Cyber Cafe.
Well, springtime is here and bad weather is around the corner, but you can't snooze this alarm with the start of tornado season. MTSU police and the city of Murfreesboro again tested their severe weather sirens. The siren is intended to warn campus and the surrounding city of bad weather to come. While some students find the alarm loud and annoying, others understand its purpose. Quote, tornado season begins in March and lasts usually until June.
I do like where they go off because some people might not have access to phones or whatever, and so it alerts them of when severe weather is happening. And in my hometown, we do not have those things. So
today marks the 10-year anniversary of the Good Friday tornado that struck Middle Tennessee. The Good Friday tornado, as it's been called over the years, tore throughout over 20 miles of Rutherford County and took 2 lives while injuring 58 others. At its peak, the tornado reached an EF4 with winds reaching an estimated 170 miles per hour wind. With an astonishing width of a half mile, the tornado caused damage to over 300 homes, splintered trees, tore through power lines, and tossed vehicles.
You know, Sherilyn, I hope we never have another tornado like that ever again. I hope that tornado season stays far away, but it seems to be right now.
I know, right now the weather is great, so I hope we don't have any tornadoes coming in the next week. Let's see what Aaron has, or Eric, sorry.
Tornado season, I know it's right in the middle of it, but so far Tennessee is doing well. I know we had a little bit of a scare earlier, but before we go to break, we just want to do one quick reminder for possibly those that might have missed it. We're going to talk about today's beautiful weather. Right now it's 78 degrees, and right now, since there's such a low humidity and wind of about 1 mile per hour, it feels more like it's in the 80s. So it's going to feel really gorgeous. And talking about tonight's weather, excuse me, it is going to be even more beautiful, much more than the previous couple of nights. And they're going to have a low of 62. 62, that's correct. We're moving out of the winter time. We're finally having some beautiful, almost summer-like weather. Only 1 mile per hour of wind, and the humidity is still pretty low at 25. So stay tuned. After the break, we're going to be talking about the 5-day forecast, and you might like the next couple days, but just a little bit of a tease, the weekend is not looking so hot.
Thank you, Eric. And like he said, when we come back from the break, he will be showing us our 5-day forecast. And Purity Milk is hosting a Music City Dairy Pure Dash. That's coming up next on Middle Tennessee News.
Turn off your lights for Earth Hour. For our forests, our rivers, our oceans, our wildlife, and for our climate. For our Earth. Earth Hour, March 30th, 2019.
Your zip code. Just one number different and you might have a whole other life. Different school, different job, different dreams, different problems. In America, the zip code you're born in can determine your future. The Y works to change that, with programs and services that help everyone thrive, no matter who you are or where you're from. For a better us, support your local Y today.
Breast cancer kills more than 41,000 people each year in the U.S. alone. That's unacceptable. That's why by 2026, Susan G. Komen will cut the number of breast cancer deaths in half. We'll get there by helping those who can't pay for treatments, by funding breakthroughs in research that save lives, by ensuring that all people receive the care they need. We'll get there, but only with your help. So, are you in?
My mother used to say, a long time ago, whenever there would be any catastrophe that was on the air, she would say, always look for the helpers. Because if you look for the helpers, you'll know that there's hope.
Welcome back to Middle Tennessee News. We're going to be going over our main look at weather right now, so follow me on over to the Weather Center really quick. And right now we're going to be talking about, we're going to recap quickly about our main look at, or excuse me, our today's weather, which again, yet again, one of the most beautiful days so far we've had up to this point. As you can see here, it is 78 degrees with only a small humidity of 25. It's barely anything here in Tennessee, trust me. We know the summers, they're rough, they're sweaty, it's gross. Only 1 mile per hour of wind. That means there is little to no breeze. So this 78 feels really nice compared with that humidity. But right now, let's go on and take a look at tonight's weather. Tonight's weather is going to be one of the highest lows, if you can stay with me on that, highest lows of the year so far. I know obviously during the March time we were at 62, or back in March we were around the 40-degree mark, even into the chilly, getting below freezing. But right now, 62 degrees. We're getting into summer, folks. It's really close. And the humidity still at 25% and 1 mile per hour of wind. So it's going to be gorgeous tonight. Going on to our 5-day forecast. Obviously, we're going to be sticking with the same thing with Wednesday, looking beautiful, high of 83, obviously. And tomorrow, though, a high of 82 and 63, but we're going to be introducing some clouds, but that's not too terribly bad. Trust me, it's going to be one of those, we're getting into summer feels. The real problem is we come into Friday, like I said earlier before the break, 72 degrees, we're getting lower, but the rain it's a coming. 56 degree as the low, so we're getting a little bit better, but it's definitely a drop from what we're experiencing now. And more bad news to come Saturday and Sunday. Thunderstorms. It's going to be a big frowny face in the sky with all the rain. A high of 69 and a low of 61 on Saturday. So still feeling pretty good, but obviously not of what it is today. Sunday, yet again, the same thing with thunderstorms, but a little bit higher, just a little bit of a positive, 72 degrees and a really low of 41. And that is it for your 5-day forecast. And right now, we're going to toss it back to the main anchors.
Thank you, Eric. Purity Milk is hosting its Purity's Music City Dairy Pure Dash, a Special Olympics 5K, 10K, and 15K benefiting the Jason Foundation, an organization raising awareness of teen suicide. The event will be held on this Friday, and all participants who finish will be given a commemorative medal. Participants will also be given True Moo as refreshments. Well, that's all we have for you today here at Middle Tennessee News. Thank you for joining us. I'm Kristen Allen.
And I'm Chairlyn Mella. If you missed this or any of our shows, you can watch them on our website, middletennesseenews.net. We'll see you tomorrow and next week.